If you want to know how to apply warp transform in Gimp, you're in the right place. In this quick but detailed tutorial, I'm going to show you exactly how to activate the tool, choose the right warp behavior, adjust the brush settings, and apply the effect cleanly so you can edit your images with confidence. Whether you want to bend an object, create a swirl effect, smooth rough edges, or make subtle shape corrections, warp transform is one of the most useful tools in Gimp. And if this video helps you out, make sure to hit like and subscribe for more easy Gimp tutorials. All right, let's get started. First, open Gimp and load the image you want to edit. It's always a good idea to work on the correct layer before you begin, especially if your image has multiple layers. Click the layer you want to transform so you don't accidentally warp the wrong part of your design. Now, there are a few ways to activate the warp transform tool. The fastest method is using the keyboard shortcut. Just press W on your keyboard and the tool should become active right away. If you prefer using the menus, go up to Tools, then choose Transform Tools, and then click Warp Transform. You can also find it in the toolbox if your layout shows the icon there. It usually looks like a swirling spiral or wave, which makes it easy to recognize once you know what to look for. Once the tool is selected, take a look at the Tool Options panel. This is where the real control happens. The first setting you'll want to understand is the behavior, also called the Deform mode. This controls how the pixels react when you paint on the image. The default mode is Move Pixels. This pushes pixels in the direction you drag your brush, which is great for reshaping objects or nudging parts of an image into place. If you want to expand an area outward, choose Grow Area. This is useful when you want to make something appear larger from the center of your brushstroke. If you need the opposite effect, use Shrink Area. That pinches the pixels inward and can help tighten shapes or reduce a bulging area. For more dramatic artistic effects, Swirl is a very powerful option. It rotates pixels clockwise or counterclockwise, which is perfect if you want a vortex, spiral, or twisted distortion look. If your previous strokes created rough or jagged edges, the Smooth mode can help blend everything out. It softens the effect and makes the warp look more natural. And if you make a mistake, don't worry, because Erase lets you locally remove the warping and restore parts of the original image. That makes it much easier to experiment without ruining your edit. Next, you'll want to adjust the brush settings before you start warping. These settings have a big impact on how precise or strong your transformation looks. The first one is Size. This controls the diameter of the brush. If you're working on a large object or making broad changes, increase the size. If you need detail work, use a smaller brush so you can target only the area you want. Then look at Hardness. Hardness determines how sharply the effect fades from the center of the brush to the edge. A harder brush creates a more defined transition, while a softer brush blends the warp more gradually. For most edits, a balanced setting works best. After that, there's Strength. This controls the intensity of the displacement. If the strength is too high, the image can distort too quickly and become hard to control. A good starting point is around 50 because that gives you a strong but manageable effect. You can always raise or lower it depending on how dramatic you want the warp to be. Now comes the fun part, actually applying the warp. Move your cursor over the area you want to change and left-click while dragging directly on the image. Try to use short, deliberate strokes instead of long, aggressive ones. That gives you much better control and helps prevent overwarping. If you're shaping text, an object edge, or a face, small movements will usually produce cleaner results than one big drag. As you work, keep watching the image closely. If the distortion looks too strong, switch to a softer setting, reduce the strength, or use Erase to clean it up. If the effect is too subtle, increase the brush size or strength and try again. The key is to build the transformation gradually until it looks exactly how you want. When you're satisfied with the result, you need to finalize the transformation. To do that, simply press Enter on your keyboard or switch to a different tool. That will apply the warp transform and bake the changes into your layer. If you want to keep experimenting, it's smart to duplicate your layer first so you always have a backup. And that's it. You now know how to apply warp transform in Gimp, using the shortcut, the menu path, and the tool options to control the final effect. It's a simple tool once you understand the behavior modes and brush settings, and it can be incredibly useful for creative edits, image correction, and special effects. If this tutorial helped you out, please give it a like, subscribe for more Gimp tips and software tutorials, and leave a comment if you want to see more beginner-friendly editing guides. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.